Welcome to Myk Aussie.tv. Well, look where I am. I'm at the famous Duck Lake here in Edmonton. And if you check out my show during the Australian Open tennis, I was here serving the tennis ball 3 times at that sign, that duck sign back there. And it was a lot of fun. And one of my favourite pictures ever of my serving tennis style. And Cam said, yep, he hits the ball pretty well, as I do. So tennis, love it, love it, love it. But hey, we're here for Aussie rules football. Look at this beautiful Sharon. Well, I could kick it and hit that sign, but then I'm going to lose the football in the Duck Lake. And I'm not going to walk out on that ice because then I'll be under and drown. These crazy Canadians that go out in the ice fishing and then you go through the ice, you're screwed. How do you get out? You can't even pull yourself up. No one can help you. So there's no way I'm walking out on that ice. I'm not that stupid. But let's talk about the first game tonight. It is the Adelaide Crows, who I've picked in 17th spot to take on the Sydney Swans in Sydney at the SCG. 2 big upsets in week 1, round 1. The Crows upset the Geelong Cats by 12 points. Unbelievable. And the Sydney Swans went up to Brisbane and beat the Brisbane Lions. So tonight, I predict the Sydney Swans to win. Big Buddy Franklin's back, The big fella's back after missing about a year. His wife has had 2 kids since he played last. Yes, seriously. And Gabe, well done by saying his wife had kids. I hate it when people say, oh, some guy had kids. No, it's his wife that has the kid, not him. I know it's just lazy speech. Anyway, take the Sydney Swans to win. Oh, the Crows might cover the 22.5. It's been wet in Sydney. The ground will be wet. I think the Crows, they might have just got lucky. They played really well last week. I hope they do well, but I don't see it. Take the Crows to maybe cover, Sydney Swans to win, and put them in a multi-parlay. So why I'm doing this is because tonight at about 12:20 Mountain Time, I'll be on SportsGrid Radio that you can watch on the YouTube SportsGrid Radio channel. It's on SiriusXM, all sorts of places. I'll be on doing AFL Rd2 picks. But the first game would have already been started and over. That's the Swans and Crows. And then this game, the Essendon Bombers at the Port Adelaide Power Pap Smears, that'll be on while I am on the show. Thus the reason for this show now, because I can give a pick. I can't give a pick. I can give in-game live picks, but I can give a pick before the show. I am going for the Port Adelaide Power Pap Smears to beat the Essendon Bombers in Adelaide. Will they cover the 33.5? Maybe, probably, but because of upsets in round 1, you never know. So take the Power Paps on the money line. It won't pay much. Put it in a multi. And take the Bombers maybe to cover. Who knows? Just in case they might play really well. But the big news is the former Essendon Bomber, Aranzio Fantasia, is now at the Port Adelaide Power Pap Smears. And Lloyd, the famous full forward for the Bombers, he told the Bombers players to give it to him. Not like last week in round 1 where the Collywobble Magpie players were soft, pathetic. The way they treated Treloar. Treloar was traded to the Western Bulldogs and they were hugging him and so forth before the game. Now that's bullshit. I'm old school. After the game, have a beer, shake his hand. But like Lloyd said, the Bombers players need to get stuck into Fantasia tonight, make him earn every freaking kick. Just nothing dirty, but bump him and harass him all night so he puts him off his game. In Adelaide, Port Adelaide Power, who I picked to come premiers, should easily beat the Essendon Bombers. I hope not, no. Check me out tonight on SportsGrid Radio. Welcome to Myk Aussie.tv here on a snowy Saturday morning in Edmonton outside the magnificent Rogers Place. Cost around $500 million to build a few years ago. It's fantastic. But unfortunately, with COVID still causing us trouble here in Canada and all over the world, this place is empty when they play the NHL, that's ice hockey here in Edmonton. Well, the division, the All-Canadian division set up because of COVID-19, because of the travel restrictions between Canada and USA. Those stinking Maple Leafs that haven't won a Stanley Cup since '67, they are on top of the ladder. Will they fail again in the playoffs? Probably, hopefully. Second place and the same number of points, 44, is the Winnipeg Jets. And then third on 42 is the Edmonton Oilers, my team. Yes, led by, apparently, most people say the best player in the world, Connor McDavid, and Leon Draisaitl next to him. We have great scoring power here in Edmonton. Our goalies are still a bit suspect. Our defense is getting better. But with more scoring now in the NHL, the Oilers are a chance. But there's trouble down the road. Yes, there's trouble in Calgary. The Calgary Flames. They're down second to bottom on 33 points. It's only the terrible, rebuilding, useless Ottawa Senators in last. Well, the Flames, they fired their coach, Jeff Ward. And again, they reappointed Daryl Sutter. Daryl Sutter, he's a legend down there. He took them to the Stanley Cup final in 2004. Then he was general manager. I don't know about hockey. They keep regurgitating these old coaches. Boozehound and the boys are not happy in Calgary. NHL. Outside Rogers Place in Edmonton, it's snowing. And yes, we are unfortunately still in trouble in Canada with COVID-19. The Oilers that play back here, they put in a proposal to the Alberta government to get crowds back in this magnificent stadium for the hockey. The Edmonton football team, I can't call them the Eskimos anymore. What will their new name be? Maybe the Elks. Well, they're watching closely what will happen with the rules in regards to how many people the Oilers can come and have here at this arena, because Commonwealth Stadium not far down the road can hold something like 60,000 people. So we might be able to get 30,000 people at the Commonwealth Stadium if and when the CFL starts. So big news recently in regards to the CFL talking with the XFL, who is now owned by The Rock. Yes, Dwayne Johnson, the legend WWE fighter, wrestler, and magnificent movie star. The Rock, him and his company bought the XFL off Vince McMahon, the owner of the XFL, and of course, the very rich owner of WWE Wrestling. Well, we're not sure what's going to happen. I initially just thought it would be The Rock pouring in maybe $10 or $20 million, helping the CFL through these tough times of no season last year, and then maybe doing some marketing, doing some TV deals in the US, and then sharing players and things like that, which sounds really good. But there's talk of mergers. We're not sure what's going to happen. But I tell you what, I'm not meant to talk about the Canadian government, but they need to get their act together, because we're slipping way behind in the number of people getting vaccinated in Canada for COVID-19. CFL's meant to start in June. They got to get moving. Well, AFL Rd2 is going on right now. The Collywobble Magpies beat the Carlton Blues on Thursday night. And then the Geelong Cats got up by 1 point over the Brisbane Lions down there in Geelong on Friday night. I was on Gabriel Morency Sports Rage last night on SportsGrid Radio, New York based. It's on Sirius Satellite XM Channel 204 as well. We talked the games. Well, the Port Adelaide Power, Pat Smears, as expected, smashed the Essendon Bombers in Adelaide. The Crows, they had a big win in round one against the Cats. And the Swans, they played off in Sydney. The Crows kicked terrible. They kicked 11 goals and 22 points and got beaten easily by the Swans in the end. Big Buddy Franklin, the legend forward. He had a good return back for the Swans. The Swans are looking good. They got some good young kids coming through. But I woke up this morning to the disgraceful final score of the St Kilda Saints getting beaten by the Melbourne Demons. You know what? I should never trust either of these teams, and I never have, and I will still not trust the Saints. Just when I started to trust them, they're on the up, and they get beaten by the Demons, who you can never trust. Being a Demons fan would be as bad now as being a Cleveland Browns fan. Terrible. So we lost that one. More games tonight, so look forward to that. And let's now go to my show from last night on Sports Rage with Gabriel Morency, talking AFL picks and some interesting stories of AFL players.
This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
All right, do we have Myk Aussie? Is Myk here for AFL time? All right, Myk. What's going on, Myk? Let's, you know what? We got college basketball in the morning. This March Madness, the Sweet 16. It's winding down, Myk. So, you know what? After Tuesday, there's only going to be 4 teams left. But the AFL has rolled. I went 2-1 last week, Myk, in the overnight hours. So I'll take it. So, you know what? I'll keep track of my record on the season because I don't play a million AFL games like the other sports. It's once a week. So I'll keep record. I'm 2-1 on the season. How you doing, Myk?
Hey, mate. Yeah, well, last Friday night when I was on, that was a rough night because 2 of the biggest upsets ever, like the Swans beating the Lions and then the Crows beating the Cats just after I was on. But I recovered and went 6-3 straight up, so that wasn't a bad start. But, yeah, the rules are better. It's a lot quicker, higher scoring, so it's back, mate. The real football, man.
All right, so let's get into it right now, Myk, because I'll play these games. I want to make a little money in the overnight hours. Whatever. Port Adelaide and Essendon, it's a blowout right now already. 52-17 early in this game, actually. Wow, 61.5 in-game. 61.5 in-game. But let's get into St. Kilda and Melbourne. So this is a real matchup, guys, for people to know. It's the Saints and the Demons. Wow. Man, got to take the Saints, man. I can't bet on Demons versus Saints. What about this, St. Kilda and Melbourne?
Yeah, absolutely. The Saints, they made the 8 last year, and I've picked them again this year to come in the top 8. They're on the up. They play a fast-running game. And get this, Max King is back, the big fella. He had to miss last week because he was playing golf, Gabe, and one of his buddies hit him in the head with a golf ball, so he's out with a concussion. He was out with a concussion rule. Can you believe that? I like the Saints to win. They're a good team. The Demons, they're just all over the place. You would never know whether they're going to win or lose. They beat the Dockers last week, but the Dockers are riddled with injuries. I like the Saints to win, and they should cover that one, mate. They're a good team on the up.
All right, so I'm going to get in on this. Myk, I'm looking at my West Coast Eagles here, 1-0 on the season. Who did they play last week? Who did they beat last week? I didn't get in on the game. They beat the Suns. All right, they beat the Suns last week, 83-58 final score. So I'm going to get in on the Saints here at -4.5. We got Gold Coast and North Melbourne. Wow, big point spread here, Myk, 25.5. What do you make of this one?
Oh, the Kangaroos, they could go down. I'm predicting they might go down as the worst team in AFL history. They're absolutely shocking. They got rid of a lot of players. They've got injuries as well. Tarrant's out. He had something on his kidney, a mass on his kidney. That's not good. Jaden Stevenson, the fella from Collingwood, you remember this, Gabe? He got suspended for like 10 games because he was betting on the football. Well, he's moved across from the Magpies to the Kangaroos. He can play. Jed Anderson's back, who has equally one of the worst wussy knob, top knot man buns ever, but he can play. Kangaroos don't. Kangaroos don't.
No, you're right.
Gabe.
They're going to get killed, Myk.
The Suns are on the up.
But how good are Gold Coast? But that's the thing. Moneyline's not bad. This is a good money line multi, as you would say in Australia. Money line multi, but that's a parlay to us. That's a good money line multi here. Guys, North Melbourne lost last week. They lost to Port Adelaide 117-65. They got murdered. 117-65. But as we mentioned, Gold Coast, they played my West Coast Eagles and lost 83-58. So it's how good are Gold Coast? Like, are Gold Coast okay? Is it just they got smoked by West Coast because they're good? Are Gold Coast good enough to win? Are they going to kill these guys? Can they cover the number?
Well, just be a bit careful, you bragging about your Eagles beating the Suns by, 25 or 30. The Suns were right in it, mate. The Eagles only beat them in the last 10 to 15 minutes. The Suns are a young team.
Hey, we're 1-0, Mick. Settle down. They're 1-0. They're 1-0. The Eagles are 1-0.
Yeah, the Suns are a young team. They're a young team. But it's in Gold Coast. They'll win. They might cover. Be careful on the plus minus. Definitely put them in a money line multi, and I've got some of them for you.
A St. Kilda and Gold Coast parlay is plus 117. All right, what about the Hawthorne Hawks and Richmond Tigers? Richmond's minus 30.5.
Yeah, if the Tigers are switched on mentally, they should smash them. The Hawks got up by 1 point over the Bombers last week, and the Bombers were up by 6 goals at half-time. I missed that one by 1 point. Hawks are defensive. If the Tigers are switched on, they're at the MCG. They never lose there. They've won 23 games straight or something. The reigning back-to-back premiers with Dustin Martin and all their stars. If they're switched on, they will win, and they will probably absolutely smash them. So take the Tigers to win, and I would say take them on the minus as well.
All right, let's get into my West Coast Eagles. I don't understand the point spread here, Mick. Why are the Western Bulldogs 12.5-point favorites against the greatest franchise in the history of the sport? I don't understand this. No, but honestly, why are they 12.5-point favorites? So, yeah, they smoked the Magpies last week. All right, good for them. They beat the Cobbly Wobblies. So now they're laying 12.5. Why are they such big favorites against West Coast? Because West Coast are a bad road team?
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. There's a couple of reasons. The Doggies are a good team. 12.5, that's only 2 goals, mate. That's not much at all. Eagles in Melbourne, well, they used to play terrible over there, as you know, but they picked it up the last couple of years and they started to win in Melbourne. I think the Eagles are going to start a little bit slowish. They've got a couple of their star-on ballers out. Yo and Shuey, they're out injured. The Doggies are on fire. They got Treloar across from Collie Wobbles. He's a star. I can't believe they Magpies let him go because of money. I like the Dogs to win, mate. I really do. But again, it's probably that home field. If it was played in Perth, I'd pick the Eagles. Because it's in Melbourne, I like the Dogs to win. But take the Eagles on the plus if you want. It could be close, could be an upset. But I took the Dogs in the competitions I'm in on the money line to win.
All right, so let's get into Fremantle and Great Western Sydney. Fremantle and Great Western Sydney. This game is pretty much a pick-em, Mick. So what about this game? Who do you like here?
Yeah, this is, well, if the Dockers had all their players in at home in Perth over where the Eagles are, I would have picked them. But they are absolutely decimated with injuries. They got so many players out, and they're good players as well. For that reason, I have gone for the Giants, even though it is over there in Perth. The Giants lost the first week. They're a hard team to pick. As you know, they made the grand final 2 years ago, but got blown out by the Richmond Tigers. They had a rough year last year. They still have a lot of good players. Tough one to pick, but because the Dockers got so many injuries, I like the Giants. I actually picked the Giants to make the 8 just this year. Dockers would have been a real chance to make the 8, but they're just decimated with injuries, mate. So many this time of year, it's just not fair. Take the Giants, just. Tough one to pick,
really,
mate.
The Giants are kind of new, right, Mick? They're not like an old franchise, right?
Oh, yeah, they were formed out in the western suburbs of Sydney probably 10 years ago now, and the AFL just pumped tons of money because they want to capture that Western Sydney market from rugby. So, yeah, they got a lot of favouritism by the AFL. I don't mind them. They got some good players, but they got to sort out their style. They got to get running a bit quicker.
Myk Aussie. All right, great breakdown, Mick. I'm looking forward to these matches. I'm going to get in on this. So, what's your multi? Slow it down though, because people have a hard time understanding you. I speak Myk Aussie language, so I understand what you're saying. So, slow down your multi here. What's your multis you're playing, aka parlays? What do you got?
Well, I got a lot, but I got the Swans and the Port Adelaide Power Papsmears in it because those games are already on. But for the games that are remaining, I got the Tigers and the Suns -223. Add the Saints +153. Add the Dogs +280. And then add the Giants if you want to, but that's a tough one, the Giants and the Dockers.
We're going to have to explain to you how to easily tell us who you have in your parlays, besides telling us the team names. Myk Aussie, great stuff, Mick. Thanks,
all right,
Myk Aussie. There's Mick. Man, don't tell us that we don't touch everything on this show. Bring it.